Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reading Marriage a Heartstopper fanfiction by heartstopper_fan22 on Wattpad, and today we're reading chapter 99, Why I Love You. Another thing that I wanted to ask before I get into the video, because it's a very important thing, a very important topic. I've recently decided that I do not want to make you guys have to pay for content. I spent a really long time thinking about it, and it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't feel like something that I want to do, but at the same time, I still need to somehow find a way to raise money for a wheelchair and for new filming equipment. So I was wondering if I put my Cash App online, if I put my PayPal or something online, if you guys would donate to that so that I could get enough money to afford a wheelchair, a new microphone, a new filming equipment, just because I got everything that I have at a very discounted price because it was not in good condition. Especially with my wheelchair, it's completely broken now, and I don't have a way to get around without the help of other people. So let me know in the comments if you guys are willing to help. You don't have to if you don't want to, obviously. It's just I need some type of way to make enough money to get a wheelchair and new equipment and things like that, because they are necessities. And you don't have to donate a lot at all if you are even planning on donating at all, but just asking if you would be willing to help me get the things that I need for my daily life and for this channel. But anyway, let's jump right into the video. Chapter 99, Why I Love You. Nick's perspective. Did that just really happen? I needed to brush off Harry's weird interaction and help Charlie. He was better, but was still not completely fine. And he was more awake now, slowly coming back to reality. He was in such a panic that he actually fainted. That's pretty insane to think about. He was hyperventilating, and that's probably what caused it, or the overwhelming amount of stress knowing what I told him. I carried him up to our apartment and put him down on the couch as gently as possible. "Are you all right, my love?" I said, while brushing my thumbs over his cheeks. He nodded his head and gave me another weak smile. Behind that smile was pain. I don't know if it was physical pain. Should I bring him to the hospital? He wouldn't like that, but is it the right thing to do? I sat beside him, holding a serious look and a softened tone. Do you think you need hospital? Just the mention of hospital shot visible shivers down his spine. No, he said quickly, trying to dismiss this topic. Are you sure? I said, shuffling closer to him as if it would make him answer faster. I'm sure, Charlie said, a little more reassuringly this time. I pressed our foreheads together. Are you triple sure? He let out a small laugh and smile, then suddenly said in a sassy tone, You're ridiculous. There's my Charlie. I'm ridiculous, I said in a fake offended tone, putting my hand over my chest. Charlie's perspective. Nick was the only person, I think, to ever exist who could put a real smile on my face after something happens. He knew how to get me to lighten up. Well, maybe he just knew me. In all seriousness, I'm really sorry, I said, breaking up the good moment we were having. I couldn't hold back any longer. I don't know why I reacted that way, why I couldn't have just been a supportive and normal fiance, but no. Now Nick is probably too scared to talk about struggles he has with me, in fear that I'll react the way I just did. I couldn't help it. It happened so fast, my emotions just took over, they were in control, my breathing couldn't steady or calm down, and my head was spinning in circles, then my body just gave out. I know what you're going to say, Charlie, and it's not true. I'm not too scared to talk to you about stuff because of this. Shit happens. I'm not going to base our communication off of one incident. I understand how triggering this topic is for you, and I should have waited to tell you until you got home. No, I was the one pressing you about it, and then I ruined it right as you were opening up to me about it. Nick's perspective. Charlie put his legs up to his chest. His head was now down with his hands covering his face. I slightly secured my arms around him and just held him for a while. I hate myself sometimes, he says, his voice still weak and muffled by his hands that were still in front of his face. I still talk to you about it, if you'd like. Char, I've never been scared to talk to you about stuff. Maybe sometimes I haven't been the most open and honest with you about stuff that bothers me, but not because I don't want to open up to you, but because I don't want to open up to myself. So please don't blame yourself. He took a deep breath to steady his voice, then took his hands away from his face. Really? Do you promise? He was so vulnerable I could hear it in his voice. Pinky swear, I said, as if we were in primary school. I offered my pinky, and his eyes lit up, and a grin appeared on his face. He interlocked pinkies with me and kissed his thumb. I did the same. We pressed our kissed thumbs together, and I couldn't help but laugh at how cute my fiancé was. He was everything and more. Charlie's perspective. So what happened at the cafe? I said, looking into Nick's eyes, searching for a slight clue as to what he was feeling, but his eyes told me nothing. They were blank. How about I tell you if you eat something? It's been a while since you had the cake, and it's good to eat something after you pass out. Your body needs the fuel. I smiled and nodded. Deal. He got up off the couch to grab me something to eat. He leans over me and grabs my head with both hands and directs it to look at him. I'm so proud of you for eating at the cafe. You know? I blushed so much my face was hot. Here you go, he said as he handed me a granola bar that had the label blacked out. He opened every box of snacks and blacked out the calories and sugar levels. Just seeing that caused an uncontrollable smile to creep onto my face. He was eating one too, which made my worries shrink into a more manageable amount. Are you sad, Nick? He had a blank reaction. I could feel the sadness. I could tell he was sad. I didn't want to pry too much, but the whole eating thing this morning, we will talk about it more when the time is right. He's sad, and I'm going to let him be sad and support him through it, making sure he feels that his feelings are validated. Eventually he nodded his head, slightly too scared to admit, using his words, that he was sad. I know he tries to be a happy person all the time, but he can be sad. Everyone gets sad. I patted my chest, and he quickly accepted the invite. I held him close, feeling his heart beat against my chest, and his large hands resting on my heart. It's okay to be sad. You're allowed, Nick. You don't have to be happy all the time. You don't think I'm ugly now? He asked so timidly it was like he was scared of the answer. Baby, I could never find you not attractive. It's your personality that I love, and it's just a bonus that you're literally the cutest guy I've ever laid eyes on. His muffled voice responded, Are you just saying that because I'm sad? Seeing yourself as others do is hard, and I know that for sure. But reassuring someone always helps. I messed with his hair. That was getting pretty long as I told him all the things I loved about his appearance. Well, since you're questioning me, babe, I'll prove to you how cute I think you are. First, your beautiful blonde hair and your perfectly shaped eyebrows. Then your brown eyes that look so mysterious, like someone who works at a record shop or a library. He laughs, and I laugh too. Okay, that's enough, he says in between laughs. But I wasn't done. He covers my mouth with his hand. I've heard enough. I love you. Love you too. But I didn't even get to the part about your strong arms, I say as I grab his biceps. Charlie, he whines. Fine, I'll stop. Third person. The two boys were cuddled up on the couch, the younger boy laying across the couch with the older boy laying across him, using his chest as a pillow. The younger boy messed with the older boy's hair as he fell asleep, needing the comfort from his fiancée after the hard day. They both loved each other much. You could see it in the way that their eyes looked at each other with such an electric gaze. And that's hard to come by. What they had was more rare and only comes if you're lucky once in a lifetime. Chapter 100. Bedtime. Charlie's perspective. I turn over facing the wall to escape the glow of Nick's phone was emitting, finally falling asleep again. But what Charlie didn't know was that he would soon be woken up by that annoying light once again. Nick was nervous, to say the least. It seemed like he wasn't going to get any sleep tonight, at the rate he was going. But it was really late, and he still hasn't put his phone away. And it didn't seem like he had any plan to either. Believe it or not, he's using it to distract himself from the pressure he felt not to just annoy Charlie. This new experience and job opportunity wasn't just promising for their future, but it held great importance to Nick. He loved it, and was a natural. He didn't want to let anyone down, especially not Charlie. Nick thought so highly of Charlie, and he wanted him to be proud of him. He really wanted Charlie to be proud of him, and Charlie wouldn't be proud of him if he didn't get the contract, right? Half an hour. Currently, 1:00 a.m. Charlie's perspective. I feel myself waking up again. When my eyes eventually open, they feel sore. I keep blinking from the light. I turn over to cuddle Nick, and I see that he's still up. He had a very important day tomorrow, and never stays up this late. He's sitting up against the bed frame, holding his phone with his hands, reading some sort of article. I lay my head on his arm and get closer to look at whatever he's looking at. It was an article about modeling. It was talking about different types of modeling and what to expect on your first day. This is why he's up so late. He was nervous. Nick wasn't the nervous type, but he clearly was flipping out about this. Nick's perspective. Nick, Charlie groans. I look down at him. He was awake now. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you, babe. Go back to sleep and I'll cuddle with you in a minute. Charlie then put his hand in front of my phone. No, you need to go to bed now. I turned off my phone and laid down face to face with Charlie. You're nervous for tomorrow, aren't you? Charlie said, matter-of-factly, knowing I was super nervous. I nodded my head. Yeah. I moved over to Charlie, putting my head on his chest. He pulled his arms around me and drew shapes on my back with his finger. Why are you nervous? Charlie asks. I think about all the things I'm nervous about, which is everything. There's not much I'm not nervous about right now. What happens if I don't get the contract? Charlie kisses me on the nose. You will get it. I know you will. But what if I don't? I say, letting the worry prevail in my voice, harnessing all of my concerns. Let's not think about that, Charlie says. I know what he's saying was the right thing to do, but because the more I worry, the more I'm feeding into it, letting it take over, but I can't not worry. This is our future. This could change everything. It's seriously a massive deal. I can't not think about what happens if I don't get it, because it's not my future. It's ours. He had the same twinkle in his eyes he has always had when he looked at me. It was undeniable that he loves me, and that's even more of a reason why I can't fail him. I can't fail us. Nick, if it doesn't go well, which I know it will, we will be okay. You haven't even quit your teaching job. You just took one day off. If you don't get the contract, you can keep trying until you get into modeling, or you can go back to teaching. We have lots of options. The more I thought about it, the more I didn't want to go back to teaching. The school system is so unfair. It breaks my heart to see students get bullied or picked on. It's just a constant reminder of how Charlie got bullied. And I was such a coward. I did nothing to stop it. When I heard Charlie was getting bullied before, I just knew him and I just shrugged it off. I didn't even give it a second bloody thought. This will always haunt me. Nothing Charlie says will fix that. The principal does dick shit about it, and when a student is getting bullied, they don't care. Nobody fucking cares. And they're monsters, complete monsters for that, just like I was. Yeah, I could go back to teaching. Charlie tilts my chin up so that I'm looking at him. You sound sad about that. You don't want to go back to teaching, do you, sweetheart? Fuck, why did Charlie have to know me so well? I get sad every day when I walk into that building, knowing kids hate it. Charlie responds, well, of course kids hate it. It's school love. It's not your fault or anything you did. Why did you hate school? I asked, knowing the answer. Charlie hesitated. Because I was picked on. Exactly. 85% of our kids at school get picked on, and the selected few popular kids are the only ones who don't endure that because they're the ones doing it. It's not fair, and I can't stand watching it all happen, just like I did with you. I'm not making that mistake again. What do you mean, like with me? Nick, you helped me. You never picked on me. What are you talking about? Charlie said enthusiastically. When you were first getting bullied, I didn't help you. Some mates told me about it, and I didn't do anything. Charlie placed his hand on the side of my face. You didn't know me, Nick. Do you think I helped every person I heard was getting bullied? I fiddled with my hand, trying to think of any answer, but that was the only answer. No, I said quietly. He kissed me on the lips. See? Now, go to sleep. You have an exciting day tomorrow. I nuzzled my face into his chest more. I had my leg across his body and was holding on to Charlie, unable to fathom how much I loved him. And I fell asleep. Alright, everyone, that is the end of today's episode. I really hope that you enjoyed. Come back for the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment down below whether it's just saying hello, whether it's answering my question, or whether it's leaving recommendations. I answer all of them. Also, my work email is now in my, what is it called? When you go to my channel, you'll see my work email, so you can see that when you, either way, I'll probably just tell you anyway. It's readsalec@gmail.com. feel free to email me, whether it's just to chat or whether it's to ask questions or whether it's to answer questions that I ask on here. And I will always respond. So make sure that you're checking those things. And then also, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between. Bye, friends.